Welcome to the Society.
Before we descend into madness, please be advised that the following program contains topics and cases describing graphic violence, strong sexual content, explicit language, and elements that may not be suitable for some audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
What is the address of your emergency? Tell me exactly what happened.
I think my house is on fire, and I'm here alone, and I'm on a walker.
Okay, what type of building is involved?
It's a log house with a tin roof, but it's coming from the roof, I think. I don't know.
Okay, I have help on the way, okay? These questions are not delaying the firefighters at all, okay?
Okay.
Okay, is anyone trapped inside the building?
Well, I'm inside the house. I don't even know if I can get out. I'll sit on my walker. That's the lowest I can get. Oh, what is that?
What's going on?
I don't know. I'm sorry. I know I shouldn't be panicking. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
Come in here.
Okay, stay on the line with me, okay? What's your husband's name?
Okay.
Okay, are the flames going to hear you? Is the fire near you?
On November 23rd, 2018, 76-year-old Loretta Pickard died in a house fire in Polk County, Florida. Despite calling 911 and staying on the phone for 20 minutes, firefighters took 14 minutes to arrive and did not attempt to rescue upon arrival. Communication failures between the 911 dispatcher and fire crews, as well as leadership issues on the scene, contributed to the tragedy. In a thorough breakdown of the incident, authorities reviewed the 911 call taker took 2 minutes to fully grasp that Pickard was trapped, and ineffective instructions were provided during the call. Firefighters on the scene were not promptly informed that Pickard was still on the phone with 911, and the incident commander delayed ordering an entry into the house despite knowing someone was trapped inside. Additionally, the commander was later disciplined for posting photos of the fire on his private Snapchat account. Poor coordination, delayed action, and missed opportunities to instruct Pickard on escaping or finding safety ultimately led to her death. In the end, the incident showcased the lack of urgency to save an innocent the Polk County Fire Department had, leading to a $200,000 settlement for Pickard's family. Welcome to a world where darkness and mystery converge. Navigate the depths of horror and true crime and join a society beyond the ordinary, where buzzworthy topics, paranormal tales, and listener-submitted experiences blend into a realm of the unknown. You have crossed into a place where the unusual and the terrifying are just the beginning. My name is Ralph Anthony, and welcome to the Scream Society podcast. Thank you so much for being here this week. With a debate about eating cats, men using movie franchise popcorn buckets as sex toys, and certain pop stars being triggered by fame, again, we've had a hell of a week, and I just hope you all are truly hanging in there. Okay, I need your guys' help. So, I might have joined this little contest where I'm competing for the title of 2024 Face of Horror. And, I did it because it's a really cool opportunity that's just up my alley, obviously, Face of Horror. And not only would I get to hold this title, but I would get a spread in Rue Morgue magazine, which is a horror magazine. I would get to meet Kane Hodder and go ghost hunting with him, which, if you're a fan of horror films, come on, you better know who Kane Hodder is. And for my non-horror fans, he's probably best known for his portrayal of Jason from Friday the 13th and Victor Crowley from the Hatchet franchise. Also, I would win the unlucky $13,000, which I could put toward bettering my content and paying off a few debts that I have. But all I'm asking for, if you love what I do and you really love this show and my content, I would really appreciate and love your vote, which is totally free. You don't have to pay anything. I mean, unless you want to make a donation to the Starlight Children's Foundation, then you get more votes. But for free votes, you can vote every 24 hours. And the competition ends in November, so we have quite a ways to go. And if you've been voting, I love you so much. I appreciate you so much. And if you want to vote or you're interested in voting, head on over to the podcast Instagram at Scream Society Podcast and click the link in the bio. And like, I'm bringing this up now is because I would rather talk about it here than spam my social media pages. I feel bad doing that, and I even annoy myself, so I can only imagine. Anywho, who's ready for an unhinged show today? Because it's time for Sinister Subjects. Have you all seen the new alleged Wolfman? Like, what the fuck is happening in Hollywood with these new updated films? So Blumhouse is putting their take on the classic tale of a man who is attacked by a wolf, causing him to transform into the terrifying Wolfman. Unpopular opinion here, just for a second. I was a fan of the remake from 2010 with Benicio del Toro. It was scary. It was bloody. I mean, there were some great kills in that film, and he actually looked like a Wolfman. So back to the upcoming Blumhouse version. They recently revealed the first look at the creature at Universal's Halloween Horror Nights, and it doesn't look like a wolf, like at all. And I'm not being sarcastic. To me, it looks like an older gentleman with rabies, honestly. And I don't know what approach they're taking here or they're trying to go, whether it's a realism one, but no. I take issue with realism approaches on media that wasn't really originally intended to be realistic, and I wasn't the only one questioning. So take a listen to some of these reactions from X, formerly known as Twitter. So one person says, looks more like a goblin than a wolfman, I'm telling you. Another one says, that looks terrible, looks more like Father Meth. Oh, that one's really good. Father Meth. This other one says, if Joe Biden and Donald Trump had a baby, I mean, where's the lie there? And the last one, as the goddaughter of Lon Chaney, this is borderline insulting. And you know, this is from a user by the name of Villalobos Rescue Center, Life for Paws Inc. I wonder if she really is the goddaughter of Lon Chaney. And Lon Chaney played the original Wolfman and other Universal monsters that are iconic today, like Frankenstein and so on, way back in the day. Also, the trailer for this version of the Wolfman has also dropped, and horror community, come for me. I haven't really been a fan of Blumhouse films lately. I feel like they've kind of lost their touch a little bit. I'm not convinced about it yet. But you know what doesn't look goofy? The Terrifier 3, which I'm sure will still contain the goofiness that Art the Clown brings, but it's a good type of goofy, you know? I mean, it's Art the Clown. He's a clown. Also, a little side note here. I put out, I would say, pretty decent reviews on horror and action films on the podcast Instagram page. If you're interested, check out those and keep an eye out for my Terrifier 3 one coming this October. And maybe I'll even do one on this new Wolfman movie. As someone who watched YouTube religiously during the 2015 to, let's say, 2020 era, where makeup gurus were fighting and people were eating for 30 minutes on camera, I can't even try to lie that I've never watched a mukbang video. Now, mukbang or mukbang is a video where the creator eats a large amount of food on camera, whether it's on a live stream or a pre-recorded video for likes and views. The word is Korean and originates from the word myeokbang. I hope I said that right. And the word is a mesh of the words eating and broadcast. And it's something that some people would probably describe as strange, watching someone else eat. Big mukbang stars who stem from YouTube are creators like Trisha Paytas, who I would watch eat all the time, B Loves Life, you have Hungry Fat Chick, and Nikocado, Avacado. This Nikocado avocado story that just went viral is disturbing and at the same time kind of genius. Let me explain. Nikocado Avocado blew up on YouTube for his just wild mukbangs. He started out as a vegan and seemed to be at a weight most would consider healthy, but due to a deficiency, he had to stop being vegan and began eating meat. That's when his mukbang videos took a dramatic turn, with him eating excess amount of fast food and junk food. He had gained a massive amount of weight, and he continued to post himself eating with his then boyfriend, where they would fight and act super toxic towards one another. And it wasn't long before he would start posting videos about his health issues. And in the comments, most people would obviously make fun, hate, or simply state the fact that this is someone who is eating themselves to death to make a living. Recently, he just posted a video that threw everyone off. In the video, titled 2 Steps Ahead, he begins with this giant panda mascot head. So he pulls this panda mask off and it reveals that he has actually lost 250 pounds. Because apparently he's been secretly dropping weight for the past couple of years while still uploading old pre-recorded videos to make it look like nothing had changed. He told media outlets that it was all part of an elaborate plan to mess with people's expectations. He had this whole thing plotted out, even using editing tricks to make his videos look recent, and got other YouTubers in on it to help him keep his secret. What a way to bank content. If I had 2 years worth of content, I would be so happy. But that's not how this podcast works. So yes, he's been posting older videos while focusing on losing weight behind the scenes, even going as far as shaving his head so people wouldn't recognize him in public. And people are freaking out now because nobody saw this coming. And many are saying his reveal will go down as one of the biggest moments in YouTube history. And I know a lot of people out there are like, who cares? I don't know who this is. Why should I care? But it's obviously pretty big because I'm right here talking about it. But get this, he's been dropping hints for a while. And this is why I'm saying like this is like a really genius like business move on his part. Because back in 2022, he posted a burger review that started with a cryptic monologue about being 2 steps ahead. And turns out that this was his way of setting up this whole weight loss reveal. And now he's changed the title of that old video to match the new one, titled 2 Steps Ahead. Now, of course, there are people accusing him of faking it or using AI, which AI is getting pretty scary lately. But they're accusing him of using this to edit his videos, but he obviously is insisting that the weight loss is real. And he even posted a TikTok with a fan as proof. I've never really been a fan of Nikocado Avocado. I've always found his content disturbing. I don't know. I don't advocate for intentionally ruining your body, making unhealthy lifestyle choices for social experiments or clout. So I'm just like questioning if any of this was really real, like the boyfriend drama, the deficiencies. Obviously, he's laughing his way to the bank because he's obviously monetized. Like I said, from a business and marketing standpoint, that is one way to make money. But from a human standpoint, it's insane. So one big criticism I found quite common from reading the comments on some of these creators' videos is the accusation of glamorizing obesity with mukbangs and other weight-related content. Especially with the recent deaths of influencers, these points are often made during debates and arguments about the topic online. For some context here, the influencers that they're talking about, just a couple of them, such as TikTok star Waffler69, who would eat crazy foods on camera. He died of a heart attack. Another TikTok star, Brittany Sar, would also mukbang, but right before her death posted a video that she had ruined her life, binge eating, and regretted walking around like she was healthy, living this lifestyle, and even vowed to change her life, but unfortunately it was already too late for her. And where I stand on this topic, and I'm gonna just try and be as sensitive and respectful as possible, but first and foremost, don't be an asshole. Like, how weird is it for people on social media to just be rude for fun, for no reason, to just tear someone down because of what they look like? I never understood the appeal in that. It's so weird. People come in all types of different body shapes and sizes. Every body is different, whether that's due to genetics and all of that play a factor in all of this. For example, I lost all of this weight and have managed to keep it off mostly, right? I mean, I post photos of my progress online, all of this. It's what makes me happy. That's what I'm comfortable with. Anyway, where I'm getting at is I've gone to the doctor, I've had blood work, and am healthy for the most part, but I have high cholesterol, which can ultimately lead to a heart attack. Bodybuilders have even dropped dead from heart attacks and strokes as well. With that said, the only thing that I would advocate for is for people to just be more transparent about their health. And if they're doing this type of content, especially for apps where a majority of the users are children, I do think the narrative should shift slightly. Like I said, transparency is all that I feel needs to be incorporated into this type of content. Just make sure everything is working okay internally, babe. Okay, you know what? This next subject, I felt we deserved. I don't only want to cover the dark stuff, you know? And life's really fucking dark, especially with some of these topics. Okay, I don't usually show interest in sports unless I'm adjusting my mic here, because we're going to get into this. So, like I said, I don't usually show interest in sports, anything like that, unless there's some tea to be spilled. And I only know of this person because he hosts a podcast and I listen to it on occasion. Y'all ready for this one? Former Denver Broncos tight end and host of ESPN First Take talk show, Shannon Sharpe, was on Instagram Live having sex. Unintentionally. Let's think about this for a moment. This is one of my biggest fears, aside from everything else I'm afraid of. Spiders, worms, anything under 4 feet tall. And maybe this is one of them because I actually have gone live by accident. And honestly, thank God I wasn't doing anything questionable. But can you imagine? This all happened Wednesday, September 11th for Sharpe's 3.2 million followers to listen to. So thankfully his phone was facing up and was just showing the ceiling. But you could obviously hear the chaos, the moans from a woman, and the famous aggressive grunting from Sharpe that was taking place. The live only lasted around 2.5 minutes, but that was enough time for people to jump on and scream record and spread it like wildfire. Sharpe jumped immediately onto X to tweet that his account had been hacked, but then deleted the tweet and instead posted an emergency episode of his Nightcap podcast admitting to having this intimate moment on live. He also vowed to leave his phone in the car going forward, and I'm glad he's been a good sport about it. So a day goes by and Shannon Sharpe is now being accused of setting this whole thing up, all to prove that he's not gay. At least according to retired sports journalist Jason Whitlock, these allegations are absurd. They apparently are stemming from comedians, and most recently, this last March, there was a video of him getting out of a car and trolls were claiming that he walked zesty, whatever that's supposed to mean. Shannon responded to this by stating that he's had 2 hip replacements. The live seemed like an honest accident, a very entertaining honest accident. But the moral of the story here is just to make sure that your apps are closed out and your phones are off during those special moments. Let's take a break. Terrifying but true after this.
Do you ever find yourself deep diving into the weirdest corners of the fucking internet, wondering what the hell did I just read?
Or binge watching those creepy documentaries, asking yourself, how did this even happen?
Well, if this is your vibe, then we definitely have you covered.
Welcome to Shut the Fuck Up, the podcast where we talk about the weird, the unexplained, true crime, cold cases, cults, basically all the creepy shit that keeps you up at night.
Oh, I forgot something.
What?
Horror movies.
Oh, because what's better than being scared out of your mind? For fun.
I don't think anything.
Literally nothing.
I'm Nolan.
And I'm Lauren, and listen, we're here for the creepy stuff, but we do get a little sidetracked.
Definitely sidetracked. Off the rails, lost in the weeds.
Look,
you
it
name
happens.
Sometimes we have to go off the rails and talk about the Constitution.
Or that time's not real.
But we promise, whether we're diving into unsolved cases or questioning what the hell is up with these cults in America, we'll keep it spooky, weird, and probably a little off topic.
So bear with us, it's a wild ride, but we're here for the weird and the what the fuck.
Subscribe now and get ready to shut the fuck up with us every week. New episodes drop every Tuesday, and we'll try our best to stay on track, but we cannot make any promises.
Rest in peace.
When the unthinkable becomes reality, we find ourselves questioning everything, as some stories are too terrifying but true. For the past 37 years, there was a box at the back of Adam Smith's mother's freezer. As a child, he was told to never open the box and was led to assume it contained an old wedding cake. On July 28, 2019, at an apartment on Magnolia Avenue in South St. Louis, Adam was sorting through his recently deceased mother's belongings, and when it came to the box in the freezer, he made one horrifying discovery. As he opened the box, he saw what appeared to be a small blanket. Once unraveled, he recalls seeing a foot and then a head with hair. This was no wedding cake, but the corpse of a baby. Adam immediately called the police. He later mentioned that his mother had once told him she'd given birth to a daughter named Jennifer, who died as an infant. At the time, there was little information available to identify the child or explain the circumstances surrounding the baby's death. In a police briefing, authorities stated that the remains likely dated back to the 1960s based on the clothing the infant was wearing. Additionally, autopsy and DNA testing revealed the baby was a male and not a sibling of Adam. The baby was never officially named. Preliminary investigations by the St. Louis Medical Examiner's Office revealed that the baby was under 1 year old when it died, but the exact cause of death remains undetermined. Despite thorough testing, the baby's death was not ruled as a homicide. Publicity surrounding the case prompted a concerned St. Louis citizen whose family once lived in the residence prior to Adam's mother and another citizen from Florida to contact the police. The DNA of both individuals and that of the deceased infant were compared, revealing a match that identified them as half-siblings, begging more questions. Why was Adam's mother holding onto this box? Had she known the family who lived at the residence prior to her? Was she afraid of getting involved with authorities? The case remains a bizarre and heartbreaking mystery, which still remains open to this day. If you would like me to share an experience of yours, share something you find creepy or interesting, or simply want to ask me a question, head on over to beacons.ai/The Scream Society and click on the Society submissions link. Remember, everything remains anonymous. Really quick before wrapping up this episode, I just want to give a quick shout out to Rob Loveless. He is an author. He's the host of A Jaded Gay, which is a podcast. It's a great podcast. He's written some amazing LGBTQ plus books, Eleftheria being one of them, which is a supernatural thriller. This past summer, I had the pleasure of helping Rob with a little project he was working on. Basically, he gave me the opportunity to edit sounds and music into his recordings of chapters from his book Eleftheria. And it's honestly like an audiobook. Like when I was doing it, I was like, this actually sounds like an audiobook. So please just go ahead and check out my friend Rob Loveless on Instagram, or you can check out his podcast page at A Jaded Gay. Look out for the links on how you can listen to these few chapters from his book, Eleftheria, which is also available on Amazon. But yeah, thank you so much for listening into this week's episode, and I will scare you all on the next one. Thank you for tuning into the Scream Society podcast, hosted, written, produced, and edited by yours truly, Ralph Anthony. Help the society grow by subscribing on your favorite platform and leave a rating and review. I always strive for 5s. Have a horror or paranormal experience? Want me to answer your questions on the show? Submit to beacons.ai/The Scream Society. Connect with the podcast on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Scream Society Podcast. And until next time, I'll scare you on the next episode.